Yes, I'm back with another video after almost 3 months. This video was supposed to be up like 3 weeks ago, but YouTube took it down and it took a while for me to re-edit things, but it's here now. Though I'm sure the algorithm has forgotten about me. It's been a lot going on, and yeah, it's just been a lot, and anyway, I'm back with more spicy K-pop opinions, and this is just a disclaimer, because there won't be a lot of opinions, just a few, and I also just wanted to warn that these are my opinions and you clicked on this video to hear them, so if you're easily offended, don't even bother watching. I hope nothing I say hurts anyone's feelings, as K-pop is just not that deep. Some of the timing might be off of the dates, but that's because YouTube took the video down 3 weeks ago, so time has definitely passed. I was able to change a few things around, so hopefully YouTube doesn't take this one down as well.
So drama. Why Ispa? Because this video is about 3 weeks later than it was supposed to be up thanks to YouTube taking it down. I've had time to listen to drama more, and no, I do not hate it as much as I do girls, which I stated in that video. I don't love the song, but I like it at least, and it has grown on me, and I'm sure will continue to grow on me, which I cannot say the same thing for girls. At first I was thoroughly disappointed with drama, but as time goes on it has certain charms. I ended up really liking Spicy, and it's been one of my favorite songs of the year, which I wasn't really expecting for an Ispa release. Drama kind of goes back to the older sound, not completely, but it has sound a lot more like Savage, Black Mamba, Girls, and Level Up a lot more than Spicy or Better Things do. Overall, the song I'd rate is 6 or 6.5 out of 10. The song is a little boring for me, but it's not one I would say I dislike. The album was the biggest disappointment, with the songs mostly being the recycled songs from their concert. Cohesion was very clearly never in mind. The songs are all over the place and definitely feel like the recycled songs they are. But Psycho's Don't Blink was the song I was waiting for the most out of the recycled songs, and even that was anticlimactic. Why are members being added to 50/50? I'm not fully up to date or aware of the whole 50/50 situation, so I don't know if it's even appropriate that I speak on it, but I'm going to anyway because I think it's stupid to add new members to a group with so much going on around it, and I also just don't think the group will feel the same. First off, I understand why the company would want to try to capitalize off the success of 50 considering how big Cupid was. Also, I see why the company would want to take advantage of something that is still slightly thriving, but I think they should just let the group subside and start over fresh, and honestly, I feel like the situation has kinda soured the way people look at Kenna. I just feel like the other members being gone and being replaced after such a big controversy. I just wonder how things will play out. The most special thing about the group to me was the vocal of Aaron, even CO. I think it's safe to say I spoke too soon with IVE. So it's been a little since I've had their comeback with the 3 titles either way. Off the record and bad as, and I think it's official that I can say I have a bad title, or at least a title I don't like. Out of the 3 title tracks, Off the Record is my favorite and has been one of my favorite songs recently and is one of the best in their discography. I like either way, but it kinda lacks after hearing a song like Off the Record. The songs have a different vibe, but it's similar enough that I automatically compare it to Off the Record, and I just like Off the Record more. Bad as for me is basically the main title track, and I just don't like the song. I don't find any part of the song to be attention grabbing, and it doesn't feel like an IVE song to me. It's a bit too disjointed for me, and it lacks and feels like not much effort was put into the production of the song and visual direction on the song and video. It was basically girl crush and them being pretty. The album itself feels quite disjointed as a whole and is my least favorite body of work from them. There are nice songs on the album, but it really lacks compared to their previous work in my opinion. Idols truthfully have always been debuting young. I don't support minors debuting, and I could go on for hours about why I think it's just blatantly putting them in harm's way. But I do think it's necessary to mention that it's not a new thing at all. It was even very prevalent in 3rd gen and people didn't seem to care as much. IDK and ABB are just starting to see how detrimental it can be, but twice debuted with 3 minors. Red Velvet's Yuri debuted after literally just weeks after turning 16, or was probably just turning 16, and G-Friend debuted with a couple of the members being minors as well. These were members of some of the most prominent 3rd generation groups, and I feel like it was much less of a thing that leaves me a bit perplexed. I'm much younger than a lot of the idols, so I didn't realize how young the idols were themselves, but I definitely think it's disingenuous to act as if this is a new thing. It is definitely getting more out of hand, and the ages are getting younger, and it's getting to be the norm sadly, but even then there are idols who debuted at 14, 15, and 16 in other K-pop generations. I'm starting to get whiplash from the amount of groups debuting now. I don't want to sound completely negative because obviously these idols train to debut, and likely they train for years, but the amount of new groups debuting is becoming overwhelming. Especially with so many debuts being kinda a lackluster, it feels unnecessary. You don't have to keep up with every group obviously, but it's hard to feel like I'm not missing what's going on when there's a new group debuting like every month and I'm completely confused about the existence of the group, or just completely forgot another group is debuting. I'm mostly a girl group stan and don't care for many boy groups, so I don't really know if I can speak much on that besides saying it seems like another one of them is debuting every other month as well, but there are a lot of prominent girl groups right now that it feels way too oversaturated, and I can't help but feel like that's also leading to the increase in people being more dissatisfied with comebacks these days. It feels like I'm experiencing burnout so much so that it's causing me to really only focus in on groups I'm most familiar with. It's okay to fall out of interest with the groups you once liked. If you're not into a group or groups anymore, it's normal. My main groups at one point were the big three of 3rd Gen: Red Velvet, Blackpink, and Twice, but I don't consider myself that much of a fan of Twice anymore, as their music I feel like I've grown out of, as well as their group dynamic. It just feels like Twice have hit a wall with me, and their releases pretty much every comeback after Alcohol Free has been underwhelming to me, and there are certain aspects of the group that haven't really improved, especially their vocals, that I just am not as attached. Also, after the Chaeyoung controversy, I kinda just felt like I'd had my fill with them, seeing as she was my bias and I mostly was still tuning in for her and Nayeon, even though I wasn't enjoying the content anymore. As for Blackpink, I still like the members, and Jennie is one of my ults. I just have lost interest in Blackpink as a group, and I can say that is mostly because of their lack of activity and comebacks. Waiting every 2 years just completely turned me off, and now that so much time has passed, I can't ever see myself being a fan the way I once was. Also, the group itself just doesn't feel like a group to me, on top of how awful Blinks can be and the lack of growth and innovation in their music. I don't stay in many groups and pretty much stick to my favorite groups, but as the years have gone on, I have lost interest in groups I really liked. I still keep up with these groups as they were my mains for a while. A lot of people find it hard to admit that 3rd Gen groups have somewhat taken a backseat for a lot of K-pop consumers. Not every song needs a high note, and not every high note is incredible. I enjoy seeing idols being praised for executing high notes amazingly, and I love it when that actually is the case. But just because an idol hits a hit note, that doesn't mean it sounded good, and it also doesn't mean the high note was necessary. And sometimes the high notes can be good, but still not necessary for the song. But I genuinely wish companies would stop adding high notes in songs, just have them there. Like if they fit the song, that's a different story, but a lot of songs with high notes these days just sound a mess to me, or just don't feel necessary and bland. Also, just because an idol can hit a hit note, that doesn't mean they're gonna be praised if it doesn't sound good. A lot of the time, they do sound good, and 9 times out of 10 they are given to the members whom hold vocal positions, but sometimes the high notes just don't sound good or don't feel necessary. My thoughts on Chill Kill by Red Velvet. So this video is supposed to be up literally hours before Chill Kill was released, and I probably would have been covering this as a separate video if YouTube hadn't taken this one down, but I'll be just giving my opinion on the song and the album here. So Chill Kill. I'm not gonna lie, initially the song was very confusing to me. I had to listen quite a lot to really understand the song, and it didn't immediately ring as one of my favorite by them, but I will say I really enjoy the song. The song is a little messy, I know, especially I'd say that the chorus feeling quite out of place at times, but it doesn't really bother me now in the way that it did at first, as now I understand that it tells the story of the song. The song is not their best because Red Velvet have done amazing, but this is one of my favorite more post-hiatus comebacks. The styling is also some of my favorite for Red Velvet ever. I also really am enjoying where they're going stylistically, especially since Feel My Rhythm. My biggest disappointment is probably the album, sadly. I actually am not all that disappointed with the album. It's more so than I found the album a bit lackluster and kind of outdated some of the songs. It's a very cohesive album, and it's another solid body of work from Red Velvet, but even the songs I enjoy the most aren't standout Red Velvet B-sides. Songs from the album that I like the most and do the most for me are Will I Ever See You Again, Nightmare, Underwater, Iced Coffee, Knock Knock, and One Kiss are also cute. Overall, solid. Though I do hope we get a more Velvet or mature at least concept next comeback. I'd love to see them do something really leaning more Velvet again.
Anyway, that's it for my K-pop opinions. Pretty short and to the point. If you like my opinions, please like and subscribe. Again, I hope nothing I say hurts anyone's feelings, as K-pop is just not that deep. It is not my intention to hurt anyone's feelings, and I don't have any ill feelings towards any of the groups I've mentioned. In fact, I actually like most of them. Please don't come in the comment section trying to be intentionally confrontational. Your comments will be immediately deleted.